Hi guys! Today we're starting Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is all about solving a system of linear equations. A system of linear equations is when you have two equations in a single problem. We're going to learn three different ways to solve a system of linear equations, starting with today's method, which is called substitution. To do the substitution method, one of your two equations must be in the format of either x equals a bunch of stuff or y equals a bunch of stuff. So essentially, one of your variables must be alone. For the other equation, it really doesn't matter what it looks like as long as one of the two equations is in this format. For today, we are going to have one of the equations already set up and ready for substitution. Here is our first example. Again, even though there's two equations, this is considered to be a single question. You'll notice that my first equation is in the format of x equals some other things. That, again, is the key thing that has to happen for you to be able to use this concept of substitution. So now what we're going to do is we're going to substitute. Substitution says that if you have x equals something, that anywhere that you see the letter x, you can scribble it out and replace it with that something that x is equal to. And so in this problem, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 minus 6y, and I'm going to substitute it into the second equation where the letter x is. Now, it's really important that when you do substitution, that you are replacing the letter x with the 2 minus 6y. So if you need to, you should scribble out the letter x so it's not there anymore, so you don't accidentally keep the letter x in the problem. After one step of substitution, you should have an equation that only has one type of variable in it. So when we started these problems, each question had an x and a y. But now that I've done my substitution, this new equation only has a letter y in it. That means you're on the right track. Now that I have an equation with only the letter y in it, I'm going to go ahead and solve for y. In this problem, I'm going to start with distributing. When you multiply something by 1/2, it's the same as dividing by 2. So I'm essentially going to be dividing by 2. Next, I personally like to combine like terms. So I will be combining together my negative 3y and my negative 1y, which makes negative 4y's. Now we're going to move our adding and subtracting. Now this one is a positive 1 because there's no symbol in front of it. So if I'm going to move this 1 over, I'm going to move it by subtracting it. So I did, let's write it out just in case you need it. I did minus 1 and I did minus 1. Now these ones cancel. On the right-hand side, 1 minus 1, I know that they do cancel, but since there's nothing else on that side of the equal sign, you do have to write a number there. And so I wrote the number 0. 1 minus 1 is the number 0. Okay, and then next we're going to divide by this negative 4 that's being multiplied by the y. And 0 divided by anything is just still 0. So even after I divide by negative 4, it's still going to be the number 0. Now, at this point in time, I'm halfway through this problem. I have discovered what the letter y is equal to. I actually don't just want the letter y, though. I want both letters. I want an x and a y. So I've only got half my answer. I need to find the other half. To find the other half, to find what x equals, you're going to do substitution again. This time, you're going to take the y equals 0. You're going to substitute the number 0 into the letter y. Now, you could substitute the 0 into this y down here, or you could substitute the 0 into this y up here. And honestly, it does not matter. You plug it into whatever equation you want to. Okay, you'll get the same answer either way. The quickest equation to plug it into is always going to be the one that has the letter by itself. And so when I'm doing substitution, I always like to plug it into the equation that has the letter by itself. Now, don't forget, when we do substitution, we're getting rid of the letter y, and we're replacing it with the number 0. So notice that the letter Y is no longer in this problem. And I feel like you can probably do mental math on this. 6 times 0 is 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. And I now have both of my answers. Now, since we got an x and a y, and since these are linear equations, we're going to write our final answer as an ordered pair. When you're writing an ordered pair, it always has to be in the order of x first and y second. So in this problem, my final answer is going to be 2, 0. My x number goes first and my y number goes second. It's alphabetical order. All right. If you would like to try a couple of these problems on your own and have the answers to check prior to doing your homework, here are some try on your own problems that you can do. So go ahead and give the video a pause and see if you can figure out these two problems. And then when you unpause, I'll have the answers for you. All right, I hope that you finished these problems. I'm going to go ahead and show you what you should have substituted. So in the first problem, you should have taken the x plus 3. You should have put it where this y was. So you're scratching out this y and putting an x plus 3 there instead. The final answer for the first problem is 8, 11. That means I got 8 for the x and 11 for the y. In the second problem, the first equation is of the format of y equals a number. I know it's backwards, but the y is by itself. So in the second problem, we can take the 3x minus 4, which is equal to y. We can plug it into the y over here. We can scratch out that y and replace it with the 3x minus 4. Now in this problem, I hope you remembered to distribute the -5. It is a -5 when you're distributing, not a regular 5. And the final answer to this question is 3, 5. If you need help with either of these problems, let me know during class and we can look at them in our live session. Otherwise, this is it for today.